Okay, here's where we left off last time. We have our symbol list. We have our buy and sell buttons. Buy is lit up if the alma is going up. If the alma is going up, the sell button will be black. If alma is going down, the sell button will be lit up and it'll be red and the buy will be black. And if you can't see the text, there is a alma buy signal if the buy is lit up. That's what we did in the previous videos. Now let's work on the wingdings. To do that, let's Google two things. First, Google wingdings MLQ4. These things will probably come up. This is the one you want. Docs MLQ4. And here it is. And wingdings, this is just a little bitty symbols and signs and things like that you see on the charts, and a lot of these you never see. And out beside each one is going to be a number. And the number is just represents the wingding. So if I say wingding 154 or something like that, you know exactly what it is. Now if you go to 154, wherever it's at, you look at that thing and say, what the heck is that? I don't know what it is really. But if we, oh come on, if we use numbers like 152, 153, we don't have to describe it. In our case, we're going to use the teardrop or water drop, or I think it's 83. Yeah, 83. And that's the one we're going to use. But this looks like a little sun deal here, 82. And you can look at them, just look at the ones, kind of get an idea of the numbers. You can see how the numbers, and X is 251 and so on. The other thing you want to look at is Google IATR, that's the average true range, and MQL4, and you come up with, here again, docs, MQL4, this right here. Click on that and it takes you to this. And these indicators over here on the left, that's the ones that are included with MetaTrader. The ones that are included with MetaTrader that you're not going to be able to, I can't win this morning. The ones that you're not going to be able to change. And turn this darn thing off. And it's like the accelerator, oscillator, the AD, I think that's advanced decline, ADX, alligator, and all like that. The other day I said that people a lot of times will list out all the variables. In an iCustom, you don't have to do that unless there's a real need for it. You can just put iCustom, the symbol, the time frame, the name, the buffer, and the bar. That's all you really need. It will by default go to the settings that are in the indicator, the default indicator settings. In these, you have to, or at least I don't know how to not do it, you have to list them all out. So if you go to, and we eventually will go to the alligator, right now we're just using IATR. You can see all this here, null and 0 and 13, 8, 8, 8, 5, all that nonsense. You have to have that. You're not going to be able to just skip it and go to the mode and the bar. You have to have all that. And that's, to my knowledge, that's only on these that are included with MetaTrader. the ones that we can't edit. The one we're going to use today is IATR, average true range. And here, it's just IATR. No, that's all that means is it's using the symbol of the chart it's applied to. We're not doing that. We're cycling through all the symbols. So ours, as an example, would be EURUSD. 0 is where the time frame is. You can see the list of them right here. We're going to be using 10,080, the weekly time frame. The period, that's just like a 10-period moving average, 20-period moving average, and like that. And you have a 10-period ATR. We're just going to use a 50 for hours, and we're going to use bar 1. We could have used any bar, but bar 1 is what we're going to use. All right, let's see. Okay. Here. Okay, this is going to be our first thing. ATR, string, remember sim, we want a symbol, and we want a time frame. Here it is. It's almost identical to what you saw before. IATR, it had null. We're going to be putting in the symbols. Our code above is going to be choosing them. EURUSD as example. Weekly time frame. TFS, we'll do it above. 50 periods in the first bar. Now, average true range is actually a double. It's the true number would be like 0.0023 or something like that. It would be you'd have to use a decimal point. We don't want to use a decimal point. We want to make it just a flat number like 256 or 3 or something. To do that, you divide and if you don't understand this, it doesn't matter. You just be aware of this, how you do it. Divide the average true range by the point. And the point is like if you have a 4-digit or 5-digit quote, that's the point. How many numbers there are to the right of the decimal point. And then to get it up to what we used to use, where they went to 5-digit quotes and 3-digit quotes and all like that, where before we had just 2 and 4, I always multiply it times a 0.1 and you'll see. And that's all you do. And when you do that, it will give us the average true range in a flat number, 256 or 3 or 10, for the symbol you chose and the time frame. The code above is going to be choosing our symbol right here. It's going to be taking the symbol from the symbol list one at a time, and we're going to specify our time frame. So this is what we do, and this will give us the IATR. Let's put our little wingding. This is just practice. Let's put it right here in the middle. So we're going to put it right here. This is just practice. I'm just going to copy this. Control C. Because it's going to take a little explaining. Control V. All right. Here is this line here, wings. Think of it just like Alma wants a symbol and it wants a time frame. Wings, in this case, it's going to want some things too. There's just some requirements for it to work. Wherever it's at. Right here. It's going to want a name. It's going to want X and Y coordinates. So we, where it puts it on the chart. Horizontal and vertical. That's all it wants. A name and X and Y coordinates. So let's go up here. This name might throw you, but you'll see. Okay, so let me move this over here, way out the way. This is the name right here. Forget about it for a second. Here's your X, and there's your Y coordinates. We're 141 pixels, or I just say 141. To the right of the left-hand side of the chart, and our vertical, each time we have to step down 22 more. You should remember that from before. And that way they don't stack onto top each other. Just each time you choose a different symbol, the code adds 22 more, and it drops down. Next symbol, it adds 22 more, and drops down. Here's our name. The name is going to be the symbol. So in other words, if we used EURUSD, plus, and this is just something that will help you remember what everything is telling you. Our name is going to be a symbol, and it's going to be week ATR. So in other words, it's going to be something like EURUSD, week ATR. And then also in the name, it's going to be the ATR for that symbol and the weekly time frame. And you'll see, you'll understand that in a little bit. Move that back. And then in our case, what we want to do, object set text, we need to use the exact same name. It has to be the exact same name. Character to string. Usually, when you put objects to text, there'd be some text here. It'd be like week or day or something like that in parentheses. And then it'd be the 8, and then be Vernanda or some other type of font, and then a color. We are using wingdings, those list of characters before. So what we need to do, we need to take the number, and the teardrop, remember, was 83, and we need to use character to string in 83. You put your little wingding in there. So if you wanted to use 89, I don't know what it was, but you could put 89 in there, and where mine's going to be a teardrop, yours would be whatever 89 is. So let's compile this. Step 3. No errors. Hopefully it don't. I'm probably going to lose my weekly cell signal. Yeah, see, this is a new week. This is the first time I've refreshed this chart. Now the GBP USD, which was lit up with no text because the text was lime, this is a new week. So the buy signal was actually, it is now a week into it, so it's not a current buy signal. But the GBP CAD now has a current buy signal. And I heard 2 beeps. And I guess I don't know what the other one was. But anyway, so here's our little teardrop. And you might be able to see that says EURUSD week ATR 209. Now, the reason I like doing stuff like that is, if I asked you what is the weekly ATR of the GBP CAD, maybe you wanted to buy right now, and you wanted to know what your stop loss and your profit target would be or something like that, and you wanted to put it at say maybe the 1 or 2 times the weekly ATR. Would you know what it was? Probably not. What about this one, GBP NZD? Would you know what the weekly ATR, off the top of your head? Probably not. But if you encode that information into the teardrop or object or whatever it is, this little teardrop might represent no telling what. If we just did it today just as a practice. We'll make it something before long. But here you can see the GP CAD weak ATR is 474 pips. What's a GP NZD? Probably a bunch. 567. And you could put anything in there. You could put the tick value, so in other words, how much every pip costs, so it would remind you. Just offhand, do you know what the the EUR GPP tick value is? It's about 16 bucks a pip. But if you didn't know it by memory, you'd have to scratch through a whole bunch of things, and how would you come up with it? Do you know how to come up with it? If you encode it here, now it's not going to be here because we didn't put it, but all you'd have to do is put your little thing over there, and you say, oh, look at there, $16 a pip. So anyway, that's going to do it on that. We're going to eventually make this teardrop representative of something. Right now it's just there. We will eventually make this color represent something, just like we did with these. And that'll probably be in step 4. In step 4 we'll go to we'll start in on the alligator, because this is directed towards Bill Williams' alligator system, or at least what I can figure out of it. And it is tools, options, fix say, show trades. It's basically the alligator. If the alligator is going down in order, like the colors in proper order, in proper distance, he looks to sell. If they're going up, he looks to buy. If they are flat or intertwined, like through here, this is where he starts getting interested. He always, best I can make out, he's interested in these periods because he wants things to kind of just, coils, if you know what I mean by coils, he wants them to tighten up, and then all of a sudden, boing, the price takes off one way or the other. It's not going to sit there for a long time, is the line of thinking of that. But you want to first find where they're flat or intertwining, and then you get ready. And you don't necessarily have to oh, goodness gracious. Well, I'm going to cut this short because this joker's going to be binging forever. We're done.